All right, it is finally time. We are talking all about my 2023 minimal travel and camera. Carrie, let's check out what's in my bag. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Happy New Year. If you're new here, my name is Desmond. I make content about tech, travel, and camera gear, and we are talking all about my tech, travel, and camera bag setup for 2023. And honestly, while we do that, I'm just gonna unbox something from our sponsor today. Hopefully this is a more low-key video that I can run through some of the gear. I'm actually packing for a trip to Disney, so this is the perfect time to walk through exactly what I would put in my travel bag. So as I unbox this package from Cuts, I just want to talk about why my 2023 bag is the way that it is. Honestly, I've been watching a lot of videos lately about everyone's everyday camera bags, and they've only gotten bigger. So I'm seeing a lot of those like Peter McKinnon 25 liter, 35 liter camera bags floating around. And in all honesty, my goal for 2023 is not to carry more stuff, it's to carry less stuff. And these 25 liter bags are, in my opinion, pretty big. Yes, they hold a ton of gear, but honestly, I think it's overkill for a lot of what I am trying to do. And one of the other things you're going to notice about my setup as we walk through it is that I am really trying to consolidate my gear, right? Less cables, less lenses, less cameras, just less of everything so that I can be more productive, more efficient, and also have gear that is very flexible. So first, let's talk about the bag that I carry everything in, or more commonly, the bags. I usually bring more than one, but the main backpack that I carry is still one of my favorites. This right here is the Peak Design Everyday Zip in the 15 liter. And I will say that honestly, 15 liters in this configuration holds a ton of gear, and more gear than I've needed in the past. So obviously I've got bigger bags. I've got a Wandered Provoke in the 21 liter. I've got some really large 25 and 35 liter bags as well. And I don't really reach for them as often because when I travel, I bring a carry-on with me and I bring a personal item. So either a backpack or a duffel bag with a camera bag inside of it. So just a quick walkthrough. I have a full review on this that I put out a while ago, but the 15 liter Everyday Zip is great. It has a really cool opening up top. This is usually where I put my main camera or where I used to put my FX3 with the microphone on top, and you would have plenty of room for easy access. And then just like any other Peak Design bag, you've got side access, these origami flaps for folding. You can fit plenty of lenses and extra gear in here. Same thing on the other side, super simple, not something that I need to fill up very often, but holds honestly every single thing that I need. And again, you'll also notice on the side, we've got room for a tripod. I don't really carry a large tripod like my Peak Design travel tripod very often. I will show you the tripod that I bring normally when I travel. And the nice thing about this particular bag is there is a luggage pass-through in the back. Like I said, for me, I travel with a carry-on suitcase. It's so convenient to just throw everything in the carry-on in the backpack, put them together, and walk my way through an airport. Super easy. So this is a what's in my camera bag video. So let's talk about the camera. I released a video earlier this year on my new 2023 camera body. This is the A7R5. I am really enjoying this particular camera, and in my other video I talk about why. Biggest reasons for me is it's consolidating the functionality and features that I used to have to use between my Sony FX3 and my Sony A7R4. Now with the Sony A7R5, with the fully tilting and flip out screen, the enhanced video features that put it almost on par with my FX3, at least when it comes to like 422, 10-bit support, S-Log3, all of those great things, and the improved in-body image stabilization. This thing is actually really solid for shooting video, which means I don't have to debate on whether or not I want to bring my FX3 on a trip or my A7R4 or both cameras. Now I just bring one camera body. Another reason why I really enjoy the A7R5 is because of that autofocus system. The enhanced autofocus is really, really impressive. The dedicated AI chip is great. And what I found, let's just say over, say, an A7 IV, which I was able to test, Sony sent that over, I had a chance to play with that as well, is the autofocus on the A7 IV feels pretty dated, honestly, when it's compared to even my FX3 or my A7R4. It just didn't feel it was fast or snappy enough. So that was one of the reasons why I didn't pick up an A7 IV as my do anything, go anywhere hybrid camera. This is why I went with the A7R5. All right, another thing you're gonna notice on my A7R5 is this lens. This is the Sony 24-70 G Master Mark II. I really like this. I recently upgraded to the 24-70 G Master Mark II from the Sigma, which I enjoyed using in the past. Unfortunately, that thing is pretty heavy. It is an all metal build, and the version that I had suffered from that internal dust problem. You'll see that on YouTube a lot. Some of the older models of the Sigma had a tendency to suck in dust into the internal elements, and that's what happened with mine. So it seemed like the perfect opportunity to upgrade and finally go with the 24-70 G Master Mark II. I'm really enjoying this because, one, it is smaller than the Sigma, it is lighter than the Sigma, it has the dual motor linear focusing system, pair that with the A7R5, and you have something that is really, really quite impressive. Also for me, when I travel, I like to use a 24-70 focal length. I'm not a big fan of the 16-35. I have a 20mm 1.8 G lens that I shoot a lot of video on, and I have a 35mm 1.4 G Master that I tend to carry with me. Okay, before we move on to my other lens, let's talk about the filter. So I'm gonna give you a closer look here. This is the Peter McKinnon Mist Variable ND filter. I really enjoy this. This is a 2 to 5 stop version. So for me, when I'm shooting with video, I actually use a black Pro Mist 1/8 filter, as well as a Peter McKinnon VND on my 20mm and my 35mm lenses. It's great because, again, it softens up that digital sharpness. Also, the VND is really helpful when you're shooting outside, right? It's great when you want to get those wide open apertures without dialing up the shutter speed. So I decided to get one for my 24-70 because this camera body can shoot both video and photo in the ways that I want to shoot it. Having this filter when I need it is going to be great. So moving on to my other must-have travel lens. This is probably one of my most used lenses of 2022. This right here is the 35mm 1.4 G Master. I love, love, love this lens. 35mm is one of my absolute favorite focal lengths. And this super lightweight, fast, incredible focusing speeds. This G Master lens is beautiful. Beautiful pictures, very sharp. I mean, it honestly goes without saying, this is probably one of the most raved about 35mm lenses on the market. So this is always in my bag when I travel. One of the reasons why I have the 24-70 and the 35mm is, like I said, with the 24-70, I get a lot of versatility. I don't mind the 2.8. I use that a ton, especially when I want to do a one lens trip around a city or to a theme park like Disneyland, where I'll be going. But the 35mm 1.4 gives me, one, that beautiful background separation, that bokeh, but also the low light performance that I really need once it starts getting darker. Next, let's talk about a bonus camera. Depending on where I'm going, I will also bring this camera because I like to get to the hotel and I will decide if I want to bring my full frame Sony mirrorless setup or grab something like this. This right here is the Leica Q2. This is an incredible camera, full frame, 47 megapixel sensor, beautiful image quality. And this is a beautiful 28mm f1.7 lens. I really enjoy this. For me, if I get into a new city, what I'll tend to do is I will unpack everything. I will just grab the Q2, toss it in a little sling bag, and I will roam the city with this, getting some really nice street photography and just some nice travel photos. The other thing that's kind of impressive with this is it actually does pretty good video. It shoots in 4K. It has its own cinematic settings, and the output that comes out is honestly pretty good, especially if you're shooting something quick and dirty or you even want something for social. This thing does an incredible job. All right, and before we jump into the audio equipment that I bring around, let's just quickly talk about the sponsor of this video, and that is Cuts Clothing. You saw me unboxing a ton of really cool stuff earlier at the beginning, but like I mentioned, I am packing for a trip to Disney, and when I do a trip like that, I just tend to pack the essentials. So what's the most comfortable, stylish, and versatile set of clothing that I need to put together multiple outfits or say a multi-day trip? And for me, I always reach for things from Cuts. And one of the things that excites me most, and it's not just their great t-shirts or their sweatshirts or honestly their Hyperloop hoodies. This one has the full zip. That's something I don't actually own from Cuts yet, is that Cuts just announced their AO pants. If you've seen my channel before, you know I actually love Cuts AO joggers. Those are pretty slim. They've got a elastic cuff, which gives them that pretty low-key casual vibe, but the Cuts AO pants don't have that elastic cuff, and these give it a more kind of work vibe. So you've got the best of both worlds, right? You have this really nice, high quality, performant material, but you have a style that you can rock to the office and to the bar. So next, in my travel bag, like I said, I'm trying to go very minimal on wires. So this is my go-to shotgun mic. This right here is the Sony ECM B1M. Again, I think you'll see this on YouTube a ton. This is a little bit harder to get your hands on, but the Sony ECM B1M works with Sony's modern cameras and their multi-interface hot shoe, which means no need for a 3.5mm cable. You can connect this directly to the hot shoe and you have a digital input right into your camera. I have really enjoyed using this. There's a ton of features on the back. The sound quality is great. Like I said, I'm not an audiophile. I'm also not shooting like high production value videos. I'm shooting for YouTube, I'm shooting for myself, and the video quality and the audio quality paired with this is fantastic. An obvious bonus, look at the form factor of this tiny little shotgun mic. Paired with the A7R5, it is a great combo. Next on my list, this is the latest addition to my audio setup. This is the Sony ECM W2BT. This is their wireless lavalier mic. And what you'll see here is you've got your transmitter, tiny little thing right here. I've got the wind muff on it right now, but you can plug in a lavalier mic, and you have a receiver. The reason why I decided to get this particular microphone is, again, because it plugs into Sony's multi-interface hot shoe. No need for a 35mm cable, so it works perfectly with my A7R5, my FX3. Let me just give you a look. That's it right there. It is so convenient. And with this thing plugged in, you turn it on, you turn on the camera, and you turn on the receiver, and you have wireless audio set up. Audio quality is pretty good, nothing to write home about. I also have the Rode Wireless Go 2s if I ever need to lean on those. But for me, like I said, I'm trying to go the most minimal, low friction route possible. Being able to plug both of my mics, wireless and shotgun, directly into the hot shoe of my camera and then start filming is super useful. And that flexibility is honestly priceless. So next, let's talk about carry. How do I carry all of this gear outside of that particular backpack? First, I have my Peak Design capture clip, and I use a Peak Design leash. And take a look at this setup. I can't take any credit for this. I learned this from another YouTube channel. I'll drop the link in the description below. But you take a Peak Design capture clip, you take the Peak Design anchors, and you secure them to the capture clip. And the nice thing is now you have an easy on-the-go strap setup where I can just go ahead and clip my camera directly into my leash, and I have it ready to go. And if I want to, I can just pop it off, shoot with it, and then clip it back on. And the nice thing is, if I don't want to use the Peak Design leash, I can take the capture clip off, clip it to the strap of a backpack or my belt, and then I have full use of this capture clip. All right, and finally, the last thing I bring with me in my suitcase or in my backpack is the Peak Design 3-liter sling. This was one of the first reviews I ever did on my channel. I think people found this really helpful, but I actually really enjoy this little setup. Like I said, when I get to the hotel and I get into the new city, I like to unpack everything. If I bring my A7R5 and my 24-70 or a single lens setup, and then I can just carry that around all day. So it is another great option, and it keeps my setup pretty minimal. Usually I'll just bring the A7R5, I will bring the 35mm or the 24-70mm, toss it into that Peak Design 3-liter sling, and I'm good to go for basically anything. Because like I said, the reason why I upgraded to the A7R5 is it consolidates the need to switch between different bodies. And that makes life a lot easier. I can shoot the level of photo I want, and I can shoot high quality video all at the same time with a single body and a single set of lenses. All right, I'm sorry, the lighting keeps changing here, but honestly, that is the end of this video. Like I was saying, I am trying to pack lighter and lighter. I don't want to carry more gear going into 2023, and I'm finding it hard to fill a 25-liter bag full of stuff. But that is my 2023 travel camera bag, whatever you want to call it. If you guys really enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, subscribe. We've got tons of new content, more products to review, more bags, more cameras, more lenses, all types of travel, camera, and tech gear coming soon. All right, I will catch y'all in the next one.